Okay, hello guys. So today I want to do a look using the newish Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I just got my hands on this, and so we're going to do kind of I think a second impressions with this today is what it's going to be. And yeah, I just want to play with it, create a nice little pretty look, and talk about the palette some, because it's really pretty. Look at this. It's gorgeous colors. Perfect for this time of year. I'm thinking of going into some of these pinkier shades and doing something kind of burgundy-ish. That's the mood I'm in. I have another look planned in my head. This can be super warm, so I'm going to kind of lean into those warmer pinks. Rosy vibes today. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the video. So, eyes are primed, brows are on. I've got my foundation on. I've got the ABH Impeccable foundation. I have a little bit of bronzer on, which is the Boomstick bronzer. I can't remember what it's called. Boomstick bronze, I think is what it's called. Something like that. Yeah. Really nice sculpty bronzer type of thing. And I've got some lip balm on from Milani. Let's get into it. So before I dive right into doing a look, I do want to tell you a little bit about this palette and some of the claims and details. But for today's video, I really wanted to just focus on the Bloom palette. I did buy a bunch of stuff for Natasha Denona, so there's going to be a lot of Natasha coming at you, but for today, I really just wanted to kind of focus in on just this one palette and talk about it, so that's what we're doing. The Bloom palette retails for $69. The Bloom eyeshadow palette is the ultimate spring essential, featuring 15 brand new shades from peachy corals to rich burgundies and complementing mauves. With Natasha Denona's iconic pro-level formulas, effortlessly create everything from soft sparkling doll eyes to bold, expressive glam looks. And I do think you get quite a bit of versatility in here. And even though at a glance you think, these colors look kind of the same, in person there's a lot of nuance and differences in here. That's just one of those things, like when you see it in person you're like, oh yeah. There's some gorgeous dual chromes in here and interesting complex shades. As per usual with Natasha, her stuff is a little more nuanced in person. This is paraben-free, mineral oil-free, UV filter-free, made in Italy. Let's dive in and create a look. I'm going to get me a fluffy brush to start. And a drink of coffee. Well, that's not coffee, that is Blackberry Dr. Pepper. Here's my coffee. Alright, let's start out with Ren. I'm going to take that through the transition. I did use some Shadow Insurance today on the eyes. No, Primer Potion from Urban Decay. And that's all that's on the lids. Pretty. That's a pretty vintage rose. No, that's not the vintage rose. What was that described as? Matte Coral Pink. That is a pretty color. I have plans for... Ooh, look how vibrant she is. I have plans for a look using the more tangerine leaning colors. I've got a blush and a lippy in mind. It's a whole plan in my head. So that will be coming your way. But today I thought we were going to lean a little bit more into these pretty pinky rosy colors. And Equinox. Because that color is amazing. Alright, I'm going to grab me a smaller brush here. And we're going to take some floss, which is that vintage rose. And I'm going to tuck that right out here. Ooh, that color is pretty pretty. And initially, I wasn't that excited about this palette. And I don't think it really got much hype. And people just didn't seem that into it. But weirdly, that's what kind of made me sold on it, was watching a first impressions of it. And I was like, I don't know, I actually really like those colors. I think it's really nice and kind of is up my alley. I tried to talk myself out of it because, like, you know, you got shades similar to that. But I'm like, yeah, in palettes that are very old, when I started thinking about it, I'm like, I decided I needed it. Actually, bought quite a few things from Natasha that was like just deciding I needed it things finally. Kind of a shopping day. Alright, now I'm going to take some Clover, which is that vibrant burgundy, I think is what it's described as. Vivid Burgundy. We're going to put a little bit of that on the outer corner as well. Just tuck that right on in there. And one thing about Natasha's palettes, they feel timeless to me. And I've definitely gotten to the point where I'm not caring what's trending anymore. I'm like, you know, if I want an eyeshadow palette that's been out 2 years, I'm going to get it. Not that this one's been out 2 years, but some of the others that I did get are a little on the older side. Like the Glam palette. But that feels like a very timeless palette. Some nice depth. I'm going to take some Aru, which is the metallic medium light burgundy. I'm going to take some of that on the inner corner. Right here. Bring that up to the socket there. Okay, pretty. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of crisp. Just on the very inner corner. I'm just going to pat that right there. Just dab that on. That has such a pretty shift in it. Okay, and then on the center lid, let's take some Equinox. I'm going to take that with my finger, pat it on. Ooh, that is stunning. Wow, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness, that shade is amazing. Just taking a little bit more Rue. Making sure we have a nice little halo going. A bit more Equinox up a little higher. Just let that trail up. That's a good shade. That is a good shade. Take my fluffy brush again. Just a touch more of Marin. Just buff that out a little more on the edges. And I'm going to dip a little bit into crisp. And hit the brow bone just a little bit. That's pretty. That's real pretty, guys. Along the lash line, I'm going to take a little bit of the NYX liner, Epic Wear liner in Burnt Sienna. And in the upper tight line as well. All right. Now, let's check to make sure we got, if there's any fallout. Like 2 Rogue Sparkles. Not bad. Very nice. I'm going to grab just a little bit more Clover. That burgundy, I'm just going to come right on the liner there. Just soften that up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my concealer. And we'll be back for the rest of the face in just a minute. Yeah, see you in a sec. And we're back. I just did my concealer and set my under eyes real quick. I'm wear testing and reviewing the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. So yeah, look out for that. That'll be coming your way soon. Let's finish the lower lash line. So I'm going to take a little teensy bit of my eyeliner, I think. Just right here in the outer corner. Just to join that up. I want to keep it a little light and fresh, and I'm doing concealer wear test, so I don't want a super heavy lower lash line. And I'm going to take a little bit of Clover, my little brush here, and just, there's a hair stuck in my lashes. Got it. Anyways, and just wiggle this right there. And I'm taking Clover mainly on one side of the brush. Let's do a little bit of Equinox. Just right under here. This is a tight end. And we'll do a little Ren. Ooh. A little more than I thought. Just came off there, but that's okay. That actually looks nice. And let's do some crisp. And that is the eyes done. I'm really tickled with this palette and glad I got it. It wasn't one that I was initially that excited about. It's really pretty. If you like warm tones and like corals and peachy shades and rosy shades and these kind of colors, which I do. I love those kind of colors, so I don't know why I wasn't excited about that. So let's jump over to blush. I've got this from MAC. This is one of the new, I think these are new, MAC Strobe Beam Liquid Blushes. These have like a slight sheen to them. Some I think are more highlighty than others. This one is the shade Good Vibes. I thought it'd be really pretty today to throw a little bit of this on. I mean, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Such a pretty color. So I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand like this because this is very pigmented. I have played with this. She's pigmented. And I'm going to take a brush and we're going to apply a rather gentle amount here, not trying to go too crazy with it. I'm going to take it on like a fluffy brush, in fact. And I'm just going to work it in. It works some off on my palm. Pretty. Very pretty. And I'm going to warm up the cheeks too. I just wanted to, I feel like I had a little plan of pairing this with a powder blush. I thought this would be pretty kind of mixed in. It does have a pretty little sheen to it too. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just blend those edges a little bit. I feel like Emily Noel would really like this shade. Like nice vibrant berry pink. Very cute. Very cute. I need to set the rest of my face down really quick. On the under eyes, I've used the L'Oreal Infallible Blur Perfection. I think on the rest of the face, I'm just going to take a little bit of the Halo powder from e.l.f. I'm just going to dust some of that on with a fluffy brush. And it's going to tame that blush down a little bit. Now, one nice thing about the Impeccable foundation and the concealer I use today, I don't have to use a ton of powder. They're very long wearing products. For a little bit of warmth, I'm going to take the Viseart bronzer in the lightest of the shades. So you have two shades. I'm just going to take this on a nice little bronzer brush and just bring in a little additional warmth. Alright, now I'm going to jump over to this from Natasha Denona, and this is what's going to bring a little bit more warmth in with our blush. This is one of her blush duos. These are called High Blush, and this is in the shade Fresh Mauve. So you have kind of a creamy, kind of like her Slip Cream eyeshadow formulation in a blush, and then you have a really pretty, a little bit more of a highlighty shade of a blush, kind of a blush topper. And this is Fresh Mauve, and Fresh Mauve actually has a little bit of warmth in it that is really pretty and very flattering. It's a little bit more vibrant than the blush in the My Dream Trio. So just kind of clean this brush off here. Try to get some of that off. It's just going to be kind of stained now. And I'm going to take some of the High Blush and just bring a little bit more warmth and tie into the eyes a little more. Nice. I just want that freshness and the glow from the other one. And just, I like to layer product, so, you know, why can't we do both? Why not? Pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take the glowy side right here, which is a really pretty kind of peachy golden shade with a bit of a mauve in there. Like, it's a really unique color and unexpected, I think, with this pairing with what you would get with what you would think of with mauve. I'm gonna apply this with a little highlighter brush. It's kind of a cream powdery feel. Yeah, it really does feel like her slip creams or her creamy mattes. No, what are they called? Silky mattes. Ooh. Yeah, okay, see, that's pretty. That is real pretty. I want more shades of this because these little duos, I think, are gonna be awesome. The way that ties into the eye. Very nice. Okay. Now I'm gonna throw in a little mascara. I'm gonna use Clinique Black Honey. I have got a new little lip gloss stick. This is from Estee Lauder. This is the melted Pure Color Melt On Gloss Stick. And I have it in the shade Rose, and it's gonna be the perfect match for this eye look. So, first thing I'm gonna do is line my lips though with a little bit of lip liner. This is one from e.l.f. and this is Mauve Aside. And this is one of those you click up. It has a very pleasant click. And super glossy and nourishing. Okay, and that finishes off our look today with the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I had to include the cheeks and the lips just to tie it all together because you just have to, right? Anyway, here's our look all complete. I am obsessed with Equinox. That shade on the center of the lid, I think it turned out so pretty. And yeah, let me know if you want to see some tutorials using the Glam palette from Natasha. I just got my hands on it. You know what, I'm going to do videos with it anyway. So put in some requests if you want to see full glam looks, soft looks, whatever. Same with Bloom palette. You want to see like some full-on crazy smoky glam with this, or some more soft, summery, fun, airy looks, let me know that as well. I'm definitely gonna be doing kind of a tangerine look. I have a blush already picked out in a lip. I have a whole idea in my head, so that's gonna be coming your way soon. And I am currently doing a wear test with this Estee Lauder concealer, so keep your eyes out for that. I'll also be filming a lip swatch video today, so that will be coming your way as well. So anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Again, let me know your thoughts on the Bloom palette down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Bye now.